Hello and welcome to Nerd Subculture. I'm your host Jared.
And I'm Edwina.
And we're still doing our Once More With Feeling series on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Tonight's episode is Season 3, Episode 9, The Wish.
What if Buffy never came to Sunnydale?
What if? This episode first aired December 8th, 1998, written by Marty Noxon and directed by David Greenwald. Eddie.
This is a full spoiler podcast. I'm a huge fan, but Jared has never watched the entire series all the way through. And I'm trying to convince him it's worth his time.
I think this one was possibly worth my time.
Yes?
Yeah. I really enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, I have to ask, Jared.
Yes?
Have you seen this episode?
Yes. I have seen this episode. Yeah, this is the first one. I thought this episode would have come a little sooner, gathering on what the clique or the social situation was with Buffy and Cordelia, because she's quite mean to Buffy, like wishing she'd never come. So I figured it was her earlier seasons with Cordelia, not liking Buffy. Yeah. So we finally got there ready. I've seen one.
Yes, eventually. Yeah, this is using the alternate universe trope with a little bit of little mix of careful what you wish for mixed in there.
Yeah, I mean it was a throwaway wish. It wasn't like she had to get a genie and go through the gauntlet of trying to open these secret passage doors or anything like that. To get this wish. She just sort of sparingly just said, "Oh, I just wish Buffy was never here," not realizing,
Yeah, well,
it's going to come to consequences.
It is one of those tropes that is quite heavily used in the sci-fi fantasy genre, like, Stargate, The Flash, Loki, Fringe. I think these are shows that are based around the premise.
I don't remember the Fringe one.
Fringe?
Yeah, what was the Fringe one?
That he stole his son from an alternate universe.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant the wish part.
No.
Okay,
I'm talking about the alternate
universe. Yeah,
alternate universe. And you have the characters playing themselves, but different versions of themselves and what they'd be like.
What if?
Yeah, the what if. Well, now there's an actual show called What If. And it's literally just this premise.
Yeah.
And it's, Buffy without friends. Did you want to do the synopsis? Not synopsis. I always say that.
What is
it? Do you want to do the summary? It's a summary.
Okay, let's do a summary. We've got a lot to say about this episode, I think. So, let's get this boring part out the way, huh?
Yes.
Buffy, Willow, and Xander are in the park where they are attacked by a demon. After they kill it, they discuss the fallout of Xander and Willow's kiss. Xander says he's left many voicemails on Cordelia's phone, but she has yet to return his calls. Willow admits that she feels terrible about what happened and that the idea of Oz not speaking to her upsets her more. Xander asks Buffy, who is also feeling low after severing ties with Angel, how she's coping. She responds that she finds comfort in her friends.
There we have our thematical link for the episode.
Comfort in friends. Cordelia returns to school only to be rejected by Harmony and a former clique who taunt her as Xander's cast-off. She goes to the Bronze where Buffy accidentally humiliates her further by knocking her into a pile of trash in front of her friends. Cordelia decides that Buffy is to blame for her predicament. The next day, new girl Anya gives Cordelia an amulet while trying to goad her into wishing something bad would happen to Xander. Instead, Cordelia wishes that Buffy had never come to Sunnydale. Anya immediately transforms into Anyanka, the vengeance demon of scorned and wronged women, and grants the wish. Cordelia is once again popular in school, her cadets are at her beck and call, and handsome jock John Lee wants to date her. Her happiness is short-lived when she realises that the town is overrun by vampires. The Master has risen and created a vast army of vampires which terrorise the surviving humans. Most of the students are either dead or vampires, and there is a nighttime curfew. Walking through the streets at night, Cordelia encounters Xander and Willow, who are now vampires. She is saved by a group of vampire fighters led by Giles. Cordelia tries to explain to Giles what happened and asks to have Buffy back so that things can be back the way they were, but before she can elaborate, she is killed by Xander and Willow. Giles calls Buffy's contacts in Cleveland, but is only able to leave a message for the very busy Slayer. He then learns that the amulet Cordelia is wearing is that of Anyanka, whose granted wishes can be undone only if her center power is destroyed. The Master has created machinery to industrialize harvesting of blood from captive humans. Giles, on his way home, is nearly captured by vampires who are rounding up humans for the plant he is rescued by Buffy, who in this reality is cold and cynical. She doubts that Giles can reverse Anya's spell, but does offer to kill the Master. Buffy finds Angel imprisoned. When she sees him as a vampire, she initially rejects his help, but the marks of torture on his chest persuade her that he is no friend of the Master. The Master starts up the plant with the first victim before a cage of prisoners, including Oz and Larry. Buffy and Angel attack the vampires. During the battle, Xander kills Angel, Buffy kills Xander, Oz kills Willow, and the Master breaks Buffy's neck. Meanwhile, Giles uses a spell to summon Anyanka to his house. He guesses that Anyanka's own amulet is the creator of her powers and smashes it, restoring the original reality. Cordelia once again makes the wish, and Anyanka tries to grant it, but without an amulet, she is powerless. The end.
So where do you want to start?
Jeez, I really don't know. Well, I might start this one off. Now, I really appreciate, and I can see the shift in the tone and the ideas of the show, like moving away from those dreaded PSA episodes where they're confined to a quota of certain type of episodes they have to make, and now they can just do what they want, because I think now at this point they're quite an established show. Yeah. So they don't have to adhere to anything.
There's also you're getting fewer and fewer of these Monster of the Week episodes as well.
Right. Well, this is kind of a Monster of the Week in a sense. It's a one-off sort of thing, I'm guessing, apart from maybe some other characters. But I just appreciate they're just going balls to the wall on this. Like really committing hard. Like the fact they create this universe with Cordelia being the center of it and then kill her off.
Yeah. So
like that is really balls to the wall. I appreciate that.
I remember being really shocked watching this episode, but also remember they had faked out killing her.
Just the last episode. Yeah. So you could say literally 5 minutes ago. Yeah. In the last episode.
But in that episode, they pretty much metaphorically that like Willow and Xander's kiss kills her. You know, destroys her. And in this, their literal vampire kiss destroys her. And that scene, the way that it's shot, it looks like they are actually kissing through her, and there's something like very sexual about it, because I think it's the way Xander sort of cups Willow's head while they're in the middle of it, so it looks like this awful threesome type situation going on. And they in that scene their kiss literally destroys her and they devour her.
Again, yeah. That's nicely picked up, Eddie. Yeah. And mentioning your libido, I've mentioned this before. Being a vampire really helps with your libido.
Yes.
Everyone is very extra horny in this episode.
Yes, they are. Willow does lots of licking.
Yeah.
Lots of licking things.
And everyone's, oh, yeah.
I felt cheap. Yes.
And also everyone's just come back from the Matrix as well. Yes. Everyone leathers up.
Everyone's in leather.
If you're a vampire, you get horny and you leather up. So that's two things you notice.
Yes, definitely. So when I originally watched this episode, and it is that thing, like normally the person who makes, like they kill off the person that made the wish. Like, you kind of think, and normally in that situation, once you kill off the wish maker, everything should have gone back to normal. Yeah. That happens a lot of the time in those kind of...
Well, that should have been a cataclysm to reset everything, but it didn't, and everyone just carried on. Yeah. And basically everyone was just stuck there. So
so you're like, oh God, how are they going to
you think they're pretty screwed, because now no one knows that there is an alternative and that something has changed everything, so no one's aware of the change.
Yeah, and I sort of thought that this episode was going to be, a Cordelia-centric episode, and then they just kill her off.
Yep, gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty tough. Also, I noticed in this episode, the clothes also tell a bit of a story.
Oh, do they?
Oh, it's just...
that they're in the Matrix?
Yes, well, as you said, like everyone's in the leather outfits. All the vampires are in leather.
Mm-hmm.
But you have Cordelia in that outfit that she wears to school.
She was absolutely gorgeous. I was rewatching that, and she is absolutely stunning in that. They've really like dolled her up like really well.
Yes, but is that an outfit that you wear to school, or is that an outfit you wear to like clubbing?
Yeah. Well, I think both her outfits, because then she's wearing blue later, that sort of weird blue dress.
Yeah, actually I like that dress. It's like that electric blue. Oh, cerulean, I should say. Sort of that. It's a nice colour on her.
Yeah. I think everything works with her. But that burgundy sort of...
Yeah, that red burgundy outfit that she's wearing.
Leather one,
with those heels. Oh, my God. But I am like, are you really going to wear that to school?
Hello, cutie pie.
But then you go to Buffy, like the alternate universe version of Buffy, who is just in like army fatigues.
Yeah.
Like, no, she's no longer that. She no longer has that cute ditzy valley girl.
Yeah, well, her character's completely changed as well. So she's, as I said at the start, becomes all cynical and dark. So dark Buffy.
Yeah.
Everyone's a little darker.
Well, I'm trying to work out what happened to her. Like, so that's the version of Buffy that doesn't have any friends and has no connections to anyone in the world.
So, I mean, are we assuming this is only a couple of years without going to Sunnydale, or is this something else in the past?
I'm guessing that the only way that she hasn't ended up in Sunnydale is that she's run away from her mum.
Right.
Or something's happened to her mum.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I actually have a feeling something's happened to her mum.
Horny Joyce, look out.
Which would send you down that cynical kind of
maybe
path.
her parents in general. So
maybe yeah, like you don't know what's happened because Joyce was the one that moved them to Sunnydale.
Yeah.
So she has now ended up in Cleveland with a different watcher.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of think how did she end up there? Why didn't she make any friends? Like she didn't make any friends, obviously, and but she has no connection, which you realize is actually really important, and it's kind of contrasted with Faith a little bit because Faith is saying you don't need to rely on anyone else.
Well, I was thinking she was probably a little more like Kendra.
Yeah, like the Slayer incarnate type.
Yeah.
Type situation. Yeah, she is like Kendra, but Kendra had started to come round to to having ties in the world.
Yeah.
But it obviously makes you a better Slayer when you have something to lose. And it did sort of feel like, what is it from that episode, Anne? That guy said, what is what is hell but the absence of hope?
Yeah.
And it just felt like Buffy had lost all hope.
Yeah.
For a better world.
It seemed like she wasn't a better Slayer as well, in some ways. She was a better Slayer in the other reality than in this reality as well. Like although she kicks some ass at the start when you first see her, her recklessness got her killed pretty quickly.
Yeah. She didn't even need to go there.
Yeah. Really. But also fulfilling the prophecy.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So does this count as a Buffy death?
No.
It doesn't?
No.
Right. Ooh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, technically it is a death. I mean...
because everything resets.
Yeah, but still, like, it's she dies in the show.
So
you could say...
So she dies... So we could just say she ends up dying 2.1 time.
2.1.
2.1.
A 0.1 for that one.
Yeah, she gets a 0.1.
Yeah.
You get a 0.1 for alternate universe deaths.
Fair enough.
But I think all of them get a death in...
Yeah. All of them except for Oz and Giles, I think. Yeah. Which is a very tragic scene at the end as well, when they're all killing each other.
Yeah. The really sad part about that scene is that there's no heart in it. Like, they don't know what they mean to each other.
Yeah, and a different reality that we've just seen at the start. Them all happy, or so happy, and throwing I think the Oz throwing Willow on the stakes probably like the most tragic one. Or actually the angel being killed in front of Buffy, and it recreates that scene of when he dies, and he just looks at her, he's like, Buffy.
Yeah.
And then,
Yep,
and she doesn't even
blink.
react. Yeah.
Yeah, but she also, she kills Xander, doesn't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, these are nothing. This means nothing to her. Yeah, it is hard to watch that scene.
Correct.
But I will go on to Oz because I think he
doesn't have much screen time in this from memory.
Oh, he has a fair bit actually because he's one of the good guys. But it's that scene where Willow's at the locker trying to beg him for forgiveness.
Yeah.
And he just does the whole, does this little speech that's, I'll just read it out. So I can't help feeling like the reason you want to talk is so that you can feel better about yourself. And that's not my problem.
Bastard.
And it's that, it's just such a mature response that only, like, that's not how a teenage boy is going to
Well,
react.
luckily no one in the show is a teenager.
Yes. I don't know. It's just a very, very mature response. He doesn't put any fuel on the fire. He doesn't lash out at her.
Yeah.
She
wants forgiveness so she can feel better.
And he's like, oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's pretty true. Like, that's what she wants.
Yeah.
And he's just like, give me some space.
Space and time.
And see what happens. And it's just this very, very mature scene. And, he isn't angry, but you can see he's a little bit hurt, but he doesn't want to get back at her.
Yeah. And the contrast of the way Xander and Cordelia are really trying to outdo the other one. Even Cordelia, like, going to that guy, is there something in my mouth? And she's waddling her head as if she's like kissing the guy in the hallway.
Yes, yeah.
And then, in the bronze, and she's laughing really loudly at the guy and like touching him. Oh, you're so funny. And then he's sitting there saying, we're all happy, aren't we? You know?
Her whole response to the breakup is, I'm going to go live my best life. Cordelia was around today. She'd be an influencer.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So she's going the I'm living my best life route. Wearing her stilettos and
burgundy dress. Yeah.
But also that little sequined number as well that she ends up in the dumpster.
The red one. Yeah, that was quite nice too. All her outfits are quite nice, eh?
Yeah. Dumpster chic for the dumped, as Harmony says.
Dumped.
That was probably the smartest thing Harmony says throughout the episode. And Harmony is just horrible in this episode as well.
Yeah, well, it's basically where Cordelia used to be. So, you know.
So she's sort of heading back in that direction. What did you think about Cordelia blaming Buffy for everything that had gone wrong in her life?
It's a little harsh. I mean, this is the life of the Slayer, and she's quite well aware of what's happening. Like, she's not creating these situations. Like, she didn't create the Master. The Master was there before her, creating havoc and abducting people or whatnot, and all the other creatures that have come before really had nothing to do with Buffy. She was the answer to them. Yeah. So, blaming her for blaming her for her misfortune seems,
or it is just lashing out at
anyone. Definitely, just taking it out on her. This is all her fault,
Yeah.
You make your own bed,
But it's very similar to the scene from when she was bad and Cordelia goes out to kind of say something to her about her behaviour. And so Buffy went out to offer support pretty much and say that she's, Buffy was trying to say, I'm still your friend. Mm-hmm.
Well, had she not have come out, Cordelia might have been killed by the vampire that jumped out of nowhere.
Yeah.
To interrupt that conversation. Yes.
But, but Buffy was, she was actually being a supportive friend. She was, saying, if you want to talk, I'm here. Like, don't, just because I'm friends with Xander as well doesn't mean I can't be friends with you.
Yeah.
She was not taking that route.
No, she needed a Joyce to confide with some marshmallows.
Yes, exactly.
Marshmallows and hot chocolate.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. On to the next topic. The industrialization of killing humans. Something that always bothered me about this episode is that the master gets, like, they go through all of that, like that
machine with
that
all
machine.
the probes and sucking all the blood, and he gets like half a glass.
And it's half a glass of blood. And
Well, when you donate blood, how much blood would you usually donate in general?
if you go back to when I gave birth and I lost 2 liters of blood.
Right. Okay.
And
that's
I
a lot.
That is actually quite a lot, and I did need a blood transfusion.
Yeah.
But that at that point I couldn't stand up.
Yeah.
For
yeah,
instance.
I know. I was there.
Yes. So 2 liters is a lot. There's not 2 liters in that.
Yeah. I mean, you could lose 2 liters and be in danger, but you know.
So I just think that machine isn't working very well.
Yeah, it's
Also
not
the
very
fact-
efficient.
yeah.
Maybe like a lot of blood's being lost in the
In the tubes.
in the tubes. Maybe. Yeah.
But also maybe they're not placed in the right, like, because it seemed like they went into like the center of her body. Like, wouldn't it be better to put it on like the
Veins and stuff.
or
Yeah.
where your arteries are, like
Yeah.
in your neck,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
your wrists, and your your thigh? It would have made more sense to,
Yeah.
or
Or.
like what we do with like sheep and cattle, you don't get a machine to do it. You hang them upside down to drain all the blood out.
Yeah, well, I think there's like like a manufacturing way to do it where like it's all automated.
Yeah, lots of waste though. Lots
Yeah.
of waste.
Yeah, which led me to think about a movie. I was going to save this for the down.
Or maybe can this be the down the rabbit hole? Because I've pretty much said what I was going to say about the.
Okay, well let's.
Oh, hang on. Oh yeah, the last thing with that industrializing the vampires. Don't the vampires like the thrill of the kill?
The thrill of the kill. Yeah. I think that's the new dawn of their evolutional step where they don't need to do that and everything's made from. It's like hunting for people. I guess you don't need to hunt anymore because everything's readily available. I know this is a little different for vampires who are demonic beings who enjoy the kill possibly.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Like that. Like I always thought, they kind of like the chase a little bit.
Yeah. Even as Aunt Willow was saying, "Oh, I hate this part. She's not running."
Yeah. But anyway, as you're about to go on to it, what rabbit hole did you go down?
Well, it got me thinking about the movie Daybreakers.
I love this movie.
Yeah. So if you're not familiar with Daybreakers, it is a 2009 film starring Ethan Hawke, directed by some brothers, Michael and Peter Spierig. It's German. Oh, they also wrote it too. So if you haven't seen this film, it's about it actually. Where do I start with this film? Well, apparently a virus has a bat virus has infected humans.
In what year was it? In 2019?
In the year 20... Oh, actually, I want to just read the top part. In the year 2019, a plague has transformed almost every human into vampires. That come from bats, by the way. The plague.
Whoa.
But basically, the society has become predominantly vampires. So you've got like 5% humans and the rest vampires. And to sustain the society, they're basically, quote unquote, farming humans, similar to what the master's plan was, and making blood readily available for all the vampires who live in this world. It's quite intriguing. Like the first half of the film is pretty good. It probably dies off a little bit, but I reckon maybe this could be a review we could do one day. So I don't want to talk too much about it. We could save that. But yeah, it really made me think about that. But this film is sort of about sustainability and maybe a little environmental sort of themes thrown in there as well. That they're living this unsustainable life where the blood supply just isn't there. And when they don't have the blood supply, they turn into these demonic sort of
subsides
humans.
So I think Ethan Hawke is trying to find a new sustainable source.
Yeah, like a substitute fake blood. Yeah. So he's part of like a scientist team. He's also a vampire who's been turned, and is trying to find a substitute, which they're failing at. They can't really find any sort of substitute. Though they do mention they use pig's blood, so I'm not sure, why that is an issue. They could, if they're actually running out, they can use other animals by the sounds of it. So, but as resources are dwindling and they're sort of on borrowed time, basically, the society basically falls apart. And there's a couple of really cool scenes in there where there's like a coffee shop or coffee stall in like an underground subway or a subwalk that they use to travel around.
Yeah, everything's underground.
Yeah, everything's underground, and they do have like these subwalk tubes that link some of the buildings. But in like the subways as well, they had like a little kiosk, and they serve blood with their coffee, with like 20% blood in it. And as at the start, everyone's quite happy and chirpy, waiting for the blood. Everyone's quite nice and courtesy. But towards the end, when they were down to 5%, and the guy goes back to the stall, says, "This is what I wanted. I want more blood." And the girl's like, "Well, we can't have any." And then he just goes a bit sort of animal crazy and just grabs the blood off the shelf, and it splats everywhere. Then everyone's just like going nuts for the blood and screeching, and then there's this one part where the girls working behind a counter close the store window or the shelf, and then they start just licking the blood off the table that's spilled there. Like everyone's just in desperate need of blood. I know that scene was quite, confronting. Lots of other confronting scenes in there. But Daybreakers, recommend that, and I think we may have to do a review on that film at some stage.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's definitely up there. What did you call it? You called it the Hawkonaissance?
Hawkonaissance. There was a mini Hawkonaissance during the mid to late 2000s. He made another movie with the same directors and writers called Predestination.
Which is also an amazing
also
movie.
A great film, and I think we may have to do a review on that one too. But maybe save that for another day. Also, maybe I'll just briefly mention another little rabbit hole I went down to, A Brave New World.
Okay, so had you read the book?
No, I've never read it. No, I've never heard of it before, to be honest. So,
So I've read the book and watched the TV series.
TV series. There is a recent TV series that's available on Peacock, I believe.
It's on Stan.
Or Stan in Australia. I'm not sure if it's been cancelled or it didn't have a final, like an end date on IMDb, so I don't know whether it's... But as you were saying earlier to me that it's just a one-off. It was a book,
yeah. But it's sort of like they did that with The Handmaid's Tales. They managed to stretch that out.
Maybe they shouldn't have. But Brave New World. So what do you, or maybe you can talk a bit more about it if you read the book and stuff. So do you find some sort of correlations with that episode of Buffy with Brave New World? I suppose that
it's just a different universe. And as you said before, you were like, well, which world would you rather live in, Brave New World or 1984?
Well, because they're both being compared. But let's just talk about Brave New World. So what can you summarize a Brave New World briefly?
It's just pretty much so though it is controlled, like they just have to, they take these drugs to stop them feeling any emotions.
Yeah.
So it's just a world void of love, passion, jealousy, anger. So, and then there's like different tiers of people. But they're doing the whole everyone's born in tubes, I think, is something like that. Yeah. So there's no conception of babies in this. But no parents.
But having said that, everyone's having sex a lot. There's lots of orgies.
There's lots of sex, but they're all infertile.
Oh,
they've all been made in I think the Soma or whatever it is that they're taking
is also a birth control pill.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So,
the kids are all the kids are all raised in a separate section, and then they're like classified as whatever they're going to be when they grow up.
Yeah, and the social status, so they're going to be this elite or worker or something. Or
Yeah. So they're all that's all determined at birth, and then they use like mind control techniques to keep everyone in their places. But there's no one really policing it, so to speak.
Right.
It's one of those things where the system has all been, or there's one person sort of policing it, but there isn't like an army or like like a secret force.
Secret police, no Gestapo or anything like
There's
that.
no secret police going around and doing that. They kind of are very casually going, like they do have what they call re-education. It's when you start having feelings.
Yeah.
They make you go and they re-brainwash you.
So the whole picture of this, there's no wars, no conflict or anything like that, and they live in absolute bliss in this beautiful society.
Sort of the catalyst of this is that something of like a murder occurs. And so in this society, there's no such thing as murder. There's no rape. There's no crime at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a murder. Well, what they think is a murder, or could be a suicide, which is also incredibly. They don't know what it is,
Right.
because they've never come across it before.
No one knows how to handle it.
No one knows what it is. They think it's either a murder or a suicide. But again, a suicide is something that's very uncommon.
Yeah.
In this society.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
And
it is actually way more complicated.
Yeah. Well, just a brief. So there's obviously lots of comparisons with that to 1984 as well.
I would live in Brave New World over 1984.
The sex and drugs sound pretty good. The
but
boiled
also
cabbage and dark, dingy apartments don't appeal to me too much.
No, and
endless war.
As I said, they're in nice apartments. Everyone has clothes. There's heaps of food.
Yeah.
Like it's a nice place.
Yeah. So everything doesn't smell like boiled cabbage.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Also, no police torturing you with rats.
Yeah, God, no. Please, room 101, was it?
Yeah.
Dear, yeah, don't go there. All right. Anything else you wanted to add? I think
I've pretty much.
And we can roll into question time.
Yeah, let's roll into.
Let's just do it, okay?
Answer the question.
Okay, Jared. Which character was your favourite?
I'm not going to say dark. I'm going to say horny Xander and Willow.
I was just going to go Vamp Willow.
What do you call that? Lots of inhaling sort of noises. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
They're cool.
Which character do you love to hate?
Normal Willow.
Okay.
Yeah, her dribbling on in the hallway in front of the locker to Oz. Yeah. No.
Yeah. I was just going to go with the Master.
Master? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know. His idea was stupid.
You idiot.
What was the most memorable fight scene?
Oh, the final battle.
Yeah, it's got to be the final battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
Yeah, with the Master killing Buffy, but before that you have Buffy kills Xander, Oz kills Willow, and Xander kills Angel. Which all kind of have.
There's all subtext in there, isn't there? Like Xander's never liked Angel.
Yeah.
Willow and Oz being together and fighting, and he kills her. And what was the other one? And she kills. That's right. And when Buffy kills Xander.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of conflict they've had as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I have the same one. LOL moment.
It's the Master. When I first see him in the club, and he's
looking
like,
at me.
hungry, and he just holds up a girl. I've lost my appetite. She keeps looking at me. I'm trying to eat, and she keeps looking at me.
Yeah, that is a good one. I have the Xander going, it was too easy. And Willow's little, I feel cheap. Also, when Giles is trying to get the Watcher in Cleveland to send Buffy to Sunnydale.
Yeah.
And he's like, we could be on a Hellmouth. We are too on Hellmouth. Yeah. Favorite scene?
Well, I think it's back to the battle That when they're all getting killed, I think that was probably the best scene. Like, pretty powerful scene. The slow, sort of, the slow motion of it all, and the sad music. Like, that is a real powerful scene. I thought that was done so well.
I actually thought the scene where they, where Willow and Xander kill Cordelia, done in that spinning motion.
Oh yeah,
as they're
the dolly trick.
Yeah, as they're killing her, and that's that kind of spinning motion is and also the fact that you're sitting there going, oh shit, how are we going to get out of this one?
Yeah, we're really committing to this, aren't we? Yeah.
What is your least favorite scene?
At the start where they're killing that demon. For a second, I thought he was pissing. The demon was pissing.
Oh, okay.
But it's just all the slime and goop dripping off him. But you see him standing like from the back, and for a second, I thought he was pissing on something.
Ew.
And they just sort of kill it and go, oh, okay, yeah, no worries. Yep.
Ew. Yeah, probably Harmony being a bitch, doing the whole, like,
this guy wants to check you out, and
but also like the fact that Cordelia has already been through hell with the fact that she nearly died by falling and having a piece of rebar go through her.
Yeah.
And then
no compassion, eh? Just waiting for a moment to hang it on her. You went out with Xander. Ew.
Yeah. I hate her. And trying to set her up with Jonathan. And you can kind of see this look on Cordelia's face of,
these are the people I want to hang out with.
Yeah, but also the fact that, she gave up everything to the point that now Harmony can make fun of her.
Yeah.
Like, Harmony can make fun of me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she dethroned the queen bee.
Yeah.
She worked so hard to
work for,
Yeah.
Exactly. So it really dawns on her what she has lost, and you sort of see that look on her face. She doesn't even want to really be their friend anymore. Like, it's
Yeah, she's outgrown them.
Yeah. Favorite quote?
Done.
I was just gonna go with bored now.
She says that a lot, doesn't she?
Bored now.
Done.
I've also got, your logic does not resemble our Earth logic.
Who said that?
Buffy says it to Xander.
Oh, when?
And it's at the start when when he's going, how dare they break into the factory and rescue us without even knocking.
Oh, that, yeah. Actually, that's probably the best quote right there, thinking about it. Why didn't they announce it?
Yes, exactly.
We brought that up last week. Like, why did they sneak in? Because they're kissing.
Yes, exactly. Best Cordelia freakout moment?
I think when she meets Xander in the street with Willow.
Yeah, no way. I wished us into Bizarro Land and you guys are still together.
Yeah. Her whole freak out there was pretty good. The sudden realization that, maybe this ain't so great after all.
Yeah. She was loving it up until then.
Yeah, had her Cordettes back and yeah.
Yeah. Who gets the wooden spoon?
I gave it to Dark Buffy.
Dark Buffy,
Yeah, she was reckless and got herself killed. Like, let's go kill the master and maybe help you out with restoring the universe or something. I don't know if that's important.
Yeah. Putting Giles at risk as well, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. I'll give you that one.
Oh, you agree or?
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, who did you have?
I did have Anya, but...
Yeah, well, she did create a whole new universe, so...
Yeah, but now she's trapped in a human form.
Oh, okay. So now she was a demon, now she's not.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I know she becomes a regular character as we go on.
Yes.
So she was... So what was she?
She's a vengeance demon.
So she came to... She wanted Cordelia to wish something against Xander is what she originally wanted. Okay.
Yep.
But what does she get out of this?
She doesn't get killed by Tahothran.
By who?
Tahothran.
Oh.
Her boss.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
By granting these wishes.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
So They're just called a vengeance demon.
And so does she?
It is sort of that monkey paw situation. Careful what you wish for.
Yeah. So she does live in that universe as well, because she only came back when he summoned her.
Yeah.
So what, does she come to Earth, say, grants a wish and goes back to hell or something, or?
I think you kind of see that he has like a pocket dimension, I think.
Okay. No, well, there's demon dimensions that we've met before.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
I think.
I think.
Well, I don't know.
If you don't know, then no one knows.
He gets summoned from a place, so...
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, Giles was able to summon her. So.
Yeah. And who gets the MVP?
Oh, it's Giles.
Oh, because he never loses faith or never loses hope.
Never loses hope, no.
Never loses hope.
And took a gamble that this any other reality has got to be better than the one we're in. So, and there's a pretty big gamble to take. When you think about it,
That's the only life he's ever known.
Yeah.
And last but not least, what do you rate the episode out of 10?
All right, I'm going to give it 10 burgundy leather dresses.
All right, you really liked this episode.
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go 9 out of 10 glowing necklaces.
Okay. And finally, to cap off, I did read, a lot of people seem to think it was Faith getting killed at the bronze.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Yeah, it's not her. It's quite clearly not her. And it's not her in the shot either. I think she just maybe has the stunt woman's wig on, maybe.
Possibly. No, but that wig's terrible. You wouldn't look like her.
Also, would Faith be a Slayer in this universe?
No, she wouldn't be.
She wouldn't be, no. No, because she was
Kendra would still be alive as well.
Yeah, Kendra was, so she was like the next succession. So, yeah, she wouldn't even be a Slayer. So, yeah. So, Eddie, do you have anything else you want to add, or we are just going to roll with it?
Yeah, just roll with it.
Roll with it. All right. Well, I hope you've enjoyed your time with us tonight. We are Nerd Subculture. My name is Jared.
I'm Edwina.
And you can find us on
TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. There's a Facebook group, and you can email us at nerdsubculture@gmail.com.
Yeah, be sure to like, share, subscribe, shout us a comment, an upvote, maybe a downvote, and we'll
recommend us to your friends.
Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Grr.